SimPlay Motorsport. We are back here live for the final fun event of this season. I'm your host Mathew Duffin, bringing you all the action with our partner in crime. He's been doing this now so much that he classes himself as a pro commentator. It's Langley in the box with me, and Wright will be joining us once again.
Doing well. Hope you're doing good yourself. And yeah, final fun event. And that's what we do in the comms box for fun events. We take it a little more lightheartedly. Here to provide a good hour and a half, 2 hours of laughs, good times, and some cracking racing out on the track.
Yeah, it should be a great evening of fun event action. We have got a great stacked grid lined up for you this evening. It's going to provide, I think, some great racing. We've got the Porsche Cup cars that you can see on screen with Schumacher making his return back after the GT2 event last week, which was a cracking event in which Schumacher put on a clinical display of driving with that of Schwab. We believe Schwab is signed up to that, so we'll see. Hopefully you can get in. We've got the Super Trofeo cars out there. Let's find one that's actually going on track. Mr. Sri Lanka himself, Steve Millington, in the Super Trofeo Evo 2 car that is taken to the circuit. And then we have the Ferrari Challenge. And again, let's try and find one that's actually on the circuit, shall we? Which none are. So great. None of the Ferrari Challenge.
I think the Malarex is on track right now. Malarex, the 488.
Oh, he's there. Yeah, there's Malarex on the circuit. Ferrari 488 is out there on the track as well. So great to see so many of these cars out there on the circuit, and let's see what will happen in this event. I'm being told I'm a little quiet, so I'm just going to try and move the microphone a little closer. Not sure why it is being so quiet. It was working perfectly fine last week. Let's try this one, see if that's any better. No. Let's try that one. No. So I'm not sure what it's going for, but either way, let's try and see what we can do. Hopefully, I'll just try the settings one more time, see if... There we go. I'm going to do that. Is that any better? No. Right, I'll tell you what. I'll just hold the microphone a bit close to my mouth and see if that works. Either way, we're in for a cracking night of racing and of action here at SimPlay Motorsport. It should be a really good fun event, this one. Obviously, it's the fun event before. Schwab is in the session as well, so that's great to see. This is the fun event before the start of the regular season, which starts in 2 weeks' time. So this could provide, you know, a little insight maybe into what could come, not this season, but the season after, because this was, this was put on a poll with the other car classes like the GT4s to see which would be the better Who Darren Cup format. GT4s took the win in the vote, but this could be the next season fun event to see if that could provide us with...
Yeah, we'll see what it does in terms of the racing on the track tonight. We'll see if some cars get stuck behind other class of cars, and I mean, from practice so far, it's already looking like it's a very jumbled up grid from what you would expect. Now, it's not exactly gold, silver, bronze like it usually is. You do have some gold drivers in the silver, some gold in the bronze. It was just a preference this time around, but it is showing that it has the potential to give us a very mixed up grid on our Tuesday night races.
Yeah, and this is where we looked to make the difference. So the Ferrari Challenge would have been for bronze, the Super Trofeo would have been for the silvers, and the Porsche Cup would have been, because it's probably the harder car to drive, for the golds, which would have made the grid a bit jumbled up, and it would have made for interesting Who Darren Cup races. But we'll see what comes in the new season when we get there for season 11, provided we are still on ACC and other platforms haven't sorted themselves out. We'll see what's happening. Obviously, we can't assume straight away. But we are getting ready for qualifying. And De Munster, first man out on the circuit in that Super Trofeo car. This is on board with De Munster at the moment as he comes up El Rouge. He's not the first man out on circuit. Sorry, that is the number 33 of Maiga, who is just in front of him on board his Porsche Cup car. And then here is Malarex on board his Ferrari Challenge. Beautiful sounding cars, but we'll go with Maiga for the opening lap of Spa. Very tricky place to go. We know that World Endurance come here. We know that the GT World Challenge, the 24-hour Bathurst, is their headline sort of act in their championship. So it's going to be interesting to see this multi-class format take to the Spa circuit. We saw with the Nürburgring and the M2s, GT2s and the GT4s last week. Great fun event. We had nothing but praise about that one last time out. I'm hoping for more of the same here, Langers, to be fair. Spa tight in places, but great, great opportunity for these cars to put on a good display. And with them being pretty close on different sections of the circuit in terms of performance of the cars, this could provide us with an interesting look at how each car will do in the different sectors.
Yeah, exactly, and it's a longer circuit this week, so and the cars, as you said, are closer in performance, so probably not as much quicker cars or faster classes lapping slower classes, more just as you said, the different sectors of the track, whether the car is strong in a straight line or strong in the middle sector. It's going to provide some very jumbled up racing, probably some cars that get stuck behind other classes or other different types of cars, and I think it's going to be very good tonight, very promising so far, just from what we saw from the practice session and to what we're going to see in qualifying in the race.
Yeah, and let's see what will happen in qualifying. And like we just said there, the different straight line speeds. The Ferrari Challenge is the quickest in a straight line. The Super Trofeo is a bit more of an all-round car, and we know the Porsche Cup how good it is in the corners and in the traction zones, provided you get the traction down. Maiga starts the opening lap of his qualifying session. There's a couple of drivers in the pit, Schwab, Handley, and then that of Cummins, all into the pit lane. I believe we are expecting somewhat near 30 drivers. So let's just take a quick look at that. Yes, 30 drivers, I believe we're expecting 31 potentially. So let's see what's going to happen. Phil Atherton in the chat. Good evening, Mathew, Duffin and Langley. Can't wait to watch this race this evening. Shame there's no DJ Phil out there on the track to entertain us once again. But Maiga coming down the Camel Straight, and the Camel Straight and the back straight as well, or the back stretch towards the bus stop chicane is where the Ferrari Challenge will be quite superior over these other cars.
Yeah, I can definitely see some Porsche Cup cars getting stuck behind a Ferrari Challenge, but can it take a Rouge and Radion flat out? That I'm not sure, because I haven't driven either of those two cars, so we'll see how that plays a factor in it. And yeah, like I said, I can see there's not a ton. Oh, there is. I was looking at the track map, not the timing tower. But there is quite a few Ferrari Challenge cars, so we'll see if a slower driver or slower car of one of those can get ahead of like a Porsche Cup car. And it might lead to them being stuck behind, especially in race trim, and these long straights lets the Ferrari kind of stretch its legs a little bit, but in this middle sector, can the Porsche Cup drivers, which still are mostly gold drivers, can they take advantage of that? And that will be very interesting to see.
It will indeed. Good evening to Ben Rook in the chat, who says good evening all. Now, the key differences in Assetto Corsa Competizione, the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup 992, it's more akin to a GT3 car than a GT4. It offers strong mechanical grip, and its performance is kind of a good balance, less reliance on aero and great track feedback. 488 Challenge Evo, the Ferrari, a powerful beast is how it's described here, 670 brake horsepower. It requires a bit of smoother inputs and earlier braking due to its higher speed and reduced grip compared to a GT3 car. Performance-wise, it's fast on the straights, less stable and more prone to spins, with small mistakes harder to drive than a Porsche Cup car apparently. So I thought the Porsche Cup car would be more difficult than the Ferrari Challenge without its traction control. According to Google, it is not. Super Trofeo, the very powerful V10 engine, only 600 horsepower, Significant top speed, but less aero than a GT3. The Ferrari Challenge and the Super Trail are classed as GT2 cars. So that's interesting to keep our eyes on with them, to try and pick somebody up who's at the back end of a lap. We'll go on board with Neil Broom. And the performance, slower lap times in GT3s, but faster on the straights. Sits between GT3 and GT4 in overall pace. So that is what Google is telling me in this one. So yeah, it should be an interesting night. Like I say, we're going to be joined by Mathew Wright a little later on in the programme once again. We'll hope for some good banter like last time once more, because it was a good cracking night of banter in the comms box. Only a 10-minute qualifying on this long circuit. We are 4 minutes left into qualifying. 8 drivers have currently set a time, and it's Falasini who is currently on pole position. Ignore that his number is red. It is meant to be silver. It was a last-minute sign-up that I forgot to change on the entry list. So Falasini is in that Super Trofeo car. De Munster with Van den Doel in the Ferrari Challenge, currently P3. Meiger's P4 from Will Friedman in 5th. Richie Michel is P6. Cairns is down in 7th. He was the fastest man in practice. Richard Bettison running in P8 with Rob Smith currently 9th. Peckman in 10th from Neil Broom in 11th spot. And who will be the next car to cross the line? It will be the 33, but is on an invalid lap. So we'll go and find the number 3 car, which is that of
De Munster.
De Munster.
P2.
Oh, it is. Thank you, Langers. In his Super Trofeo. And you can see on the track map the different colours of the dots. The light blue obviously means they've invalidated a lap time. The red is for the Ferrari Challenge. The orange is for the Super Trofeos. And the green for the Porsche Cup cars. What are we interested to see tonight in the chat? Let us know what car you think is going to take the overall race win. Not just the class win for these drivers, but the overall race win as De Munster comes through the bus stop chicane. And it'd be interesting to see if any driver spins and gets big damage at this circuit, unlike somebody I know from this weekend. Langers?
Hey.
Although...
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
No, I'm not sure. Although we did beat a fellow commentator to work with over on another championship. Yeah, we did beat him in the race. They had a big spin up Eau Rouge, so we did manage to beat them.
You're talking about our top 10 finish.
Our
this
top
weekend.
10 finish, yeah.
Yeah.
What some boys we are. De Munster takes that provisional pole position for the time being. Let's pick up the 75 of Bettison coming through Blanchimont now. Where will he end up as he comes towards the bus stop chicane for his the end of his next lap? He'll get one more in after this. Some drivers may get a final run in at the very end. A lot still haven't set a lap time yet. 16 drivers with a lap time set, 24 in the lobby. No Ramsell or Leach in at the moment. I know they'd signed up to this event, but they're not here at the moment. And Bettison stays in P number 10. The 208 of Will Freeman's on a valid lap. Let's go down to the Ferrari Challenge car, the 888 of Neil Broom, who is coming through Blanchimont. He is on a valid lap, it says. We'll keep our eyes on anybody changing lap times. Good evening to Paul Williams in the chat. Evening, guys. Happy New Year to you all. Not long now until the opening night of Season 10. Going to be the best yet. Good luck to Harris and Bettison tonight. I think it could be the best season yet, Langers. I think we've got 3 very good grids. And, yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting Season 10 underway.
I think we are getting more and more competitive drivers, and we're getting more and more competitive teams. And that... in turn is just giving us better and better racing, better and better seasons, better and better everything.
It is indeed. I think we're going to be in for one heck of a season across Who Darren Cup, Pro-Am and Pro, the silver, bronze, gold, platinum categories in all of the respective nights of racing. We're on with Patrick Leger at the moment, next man on a valid lap. It is De Munster, but we have just seen De Munster as Falasini has taken provisional pole back from him by a 10th. Leger, second place in the GT2s last week. Losing out to Will Friedman. Currently out qualifying though. Couple of cars between them two. He'll be looking to claim bragging rights in that Porsche Cup car tonight as he bails on a lap to start one final run.
Yeah, I think this is going to be close for some cars to make one final lap. Some will definitely not get a final lap and are already on their final lap. I think the people that are going through Blanchimont right now, the cars going through Blanchimont right now are going to be very close, very tight to the line to get one more lap. Anyone else behind them, I don't think is going to get another lap.
No, I think you might be right as Rob Smith comes to the side of the road. He's going to pull it into the pit lane. I'm looking at that 317 of Falasini, who has lost his provisional pole back to De Munster, and he gets one more lap in. The first car to finish qualifying then will be the 933 of Richie Michelle in his Porsche Cup car. And it doesn't say Richie as he gets all squirrely out the final corner, down towards the line he comes, crosses the timing tower and stays in P10. The 778 of Schwab hasn't got a time on the board. It says he's invalid, so we'll just jump on board with him just to see if he can get that valid lap time on the board. Comes through the chicane once again. Great to see Schwab back. He's going into the pit lane. So what can Benny Varga do in that Sodor Racing coloured Lamborghini before he swaps the Sodor colours for Quantum colours going into the new season? Benny Varga towards the line on a lap time, and he moves up to P11 overall. Car number 7 of Handley, he's also just came into the pit lane. So now we turn our attention to that of Neil Broom. What can Neil Broom do in this qualifying session? That is Cummins behind him in his very, very camouflaged Lamborghini. Neil Broom will stay in 19th place. Cummins jumps up into P10, so a good lap for him. And then it's back to your current pole sitter of De Munster to see what he can do in this qualifying session. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars still out there on a lap, Langley. And you can pretty much say, look, that the Porsche Cup cars all running towards the front. The Super Trofeos very mixed in their in the standings. And then you've got one Ferrari challenge up the order and the others down the bottom end.
Yeah, I think that's what this will provide. I keep getting thrown off by the red badge next to Falasini, or Falcinelli, sorry. Yeah, I kind of expected some of the Ferraris to be a bit up the order, but for example, some of these Porsche Cup cars that are down the order, like Peckman, Schumacher, Schwab, they could have a difficult time getting through those Ferrari challenge cars.
Especially on the opening lap, going, we start at Eau Rouge, always tricky. We then head onto the Camel Straight with that Ferrari challenge, should use its power and speed to just get down to the bottom end. Here comes Harris, does improve on his time, moves up to P12 for 317 of Falcinelli. Takes provisional pole by 0.6 of a second. And what can Wainwright do? He moves himself up into P4. That is the end of qualifying before this 90-minute race. Another 90-minute race. Drivers are free to pit as they want. And we found out after we went off air last week that the leaders in the BMW M2 class didn't do a pit stop. That's why they had such a gap over the rest of the pack. That was great for the M2s to go the full 90 minutes. They did really well.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone can do it tonight. But we'll see. We'll see if anyone tries to stretch it. You can definitely make it about 70-ish minutes, and that's even stretching it on a full tank. I'm not sure what the fuel burn is for these cars, but yeah. It'd be a stretch, definitely, to try to make a full tank of fuel. Maybe we'll see some early pitters to top off, get out of traffic. That could definitely be a strategy. Or just like last week where you pit midway, and that's probably the best for the tires. But with traffic possibly being a bigger factor because they're more packed up this week, maybe some early pitters, but we'll see.
Yeah, let's wait and see what happens here. So I'm just replying to somebody in the Discord.
30 seconds.
Yeah, I think you could be right there. I think the strategy will be the 50-50 strategy, to pit around that 45-minute mark. But the 90-minute race, again, you said it last week in the M2 event, the GT2, GT4 and M2 event, that mental fatigue for these drivers. Now, for those like Leger and the Ritchie brothers and Benny Varga, those who's done last week and this week, good preparation going into them 2 90-minute races in the new season, because they're going to be mentally switched on and ready for what's to come. More so in these cars as well, because these cars are a little bit more unpredictable than what their GT3 will be. So they will be kind of in the box seat, I think, going into a 90-minute race. Kind of going to give them the upper hand, I think, when the season comes.
Yeah, I'd also keep an eye out this race. We talked about mental fatigue last race. Keep an eye on the Porsche Cup drivers. They don't have traction control. So one mental slip up and one stab of the throttle just a little too much. Could see him facing the other direction.
Yeah, it could indeed. We'll keep our eyes on them then through this race. So Falcinelli is your pole sitter in his Super Trofeo car. We'll get a look of his car when the cameraman picks him up. There he is, and it is De Munster in the Super Trofeo, William Keynes in the Porsche Cup, James Wainwright in the Super Trofeo, Van den Doel is in the Ferrari Challenge, Patrick Leger in the Super Trofeo, Patrick Leger Porsche Cup, Maiga Porsche Cup, Mirko Ricci Porsche Cup, Will Friedman Porsche Cup, Alistair Cummins in the Super Trofeo, Richie Michel Porsche Cup, Michael Harris Porsche Cup, then it is Benny Varga, Richard Betterson and Gabino in the Super Trofeo, Rob Smith in the Ferrari Challenge with Peckman Porsche Cup, Malarex and Broom Ferrari Challenge, Schumacher Porsche Cup, Jamie Lee Ferrari Challenge, Schwab Porsche Cup, Handley Ferrari Challenge and Steve Millington Super Trofeo down the back of the grid in this one. If you had to pick a winner in this race, Langs, who would you put your money on?
Probably the one that got pulled by 7/10. But I don't know. It's hard to pick. I think Cairns will win the Porsche Cup category at least.
I think Van den Doel will win the Ferrari Challenge based on that qualifying.
Yeah, that too. I think. Oh no, I think the Super Trofeos are a bit more up in the air than the other classes. But it's looking like a Super Trofeo car will be the winner. Hopefully, we get a 3-class fight up at the front for the win. If we're lucky, but I'll go with Falcinelli out of that qualifying.
Falcinelli, your pick, yeah. I'm going to say watch Wainwright. Keep your eyes on Wainwright. He could be the one to keep your eyes on. They're coming through the Piff Path chicane now as they come towards Stavolo. And we just patiently wait for the go in this race in what should be a cracking night's worth of action. So through Stavolo they come now as we get ready to go on this formation lap. And yeah, what a night this could be here at SPA-Francorchamps for this final fun event, like we say, before season 10, as we head into the Darren Cup at Hungaroring in 2 weeks' time. And what a day, what a race that could be there. The GT4s provided a great bit of drama the last time we was at the Hungaroring. What will happen there once again as we enter season 10, to be the third season, I do believe, of the Darren Cup, and the GT4s returning to that platform. All GT4s available as well, and if you are new to the channel, you can head over to our sim grid. Sign up still available. Still some full-time spots left in the Darren Cup. But if you're looking at Pro-Am, there's one full-time spot left if you're a silver hot stint driver. Couple apart from that, you'll have to fill into that reserve role for them in terms of being a reserve driver. And then in Pro, it is only reserved for Platinum and Gold left available in this championship this season. So it could be an interesting one. And 2 weeks on Saturday, we head to Imola for the first round of the Endurance Championship. 14 seats have been taken out of the 30 in that one. But we get ready to go here at Spa-Francorchamps for the final fun event of the off-season. It is the Super Trofeo, Porsche Cup and Ferrari Challenge multi-class race. We've got to get through turn 1. It's not like other games.
That.
Yeah, it's turn 1 on ACC. It's just before Eau Rouge. Yeah, this could be an interesting race. But like I say, registrations are still open. You just have to do your hot stints. You don't have to do your hot stints for the Endurance Championship. It is only for the Darren Cup Pro and Pro-Am. So if you are wanting to get involved in them, sign-ups are still live. Go over to the sim grid. It does make you join the Discord. If you do join the Discord through this, make sure you follow your welcome message to just verify, confirm the rules, and then get your hot stint done, ready to go for the race. Right then, we're now nearly ready to go, and it is green and go, and it is a decent start from the front two, who get away pretty evenly. And look at the Porsche Cup of Cairns already slowing down the Ferrari Challenge of Van den Doel Up through Eau Rouge and Radion, there you go, dropping down into the midfield. All looks pretty clean. One car just taking to the off-road there. A little bit of a bump between two of the Porsche Cup cars, but no yellow flags. We are away racing here at SPA-Francorchamps. And look at Van den Doel now. That straight line speed of the Ferrari Challenge just powering past the Porsche Cup and the Super Trofeo of the two ahead of him. So he makes up 2 places up through the Kemmel Straight, but it is Falcinelli who leads from De Munster. Then it is not Wainwright anymore, it is Van den Doel, then Wainwright, and then it's Cairns with Patrick Leger now right on the back of the Porsche Cup leader. Then it's Maiga, Mirko Ricci from Alistair Cummings just down the order. That is Will Friedman looking up the inside of Mirko Ricci, and Benny Varga's had a good start. He's already attacking the back of Michael Harris, now round the outside of No Name as they drop down the hill. Benny Varga just a little out wide there. That could have pinged up a track limit warning. He gets the move done. You can just see the difference in the speed. And this is what we're going to see tonight, Langers. With that difference in speed, you can already see the Ferrari Challenger's superior straight line speed over the other 2 cars. You can also see how slow the Porsche is compared to the Super Trofeo out there.
Yeah, maybe I'll get my hope, because I mean, at least for the podium right now, we got the Ferrari, the Lambo, and the Porsche Cup car all fighting for that 3rd spot. The Ferrari straight line speed will help it keep it in front for as long as possible, but through that middle sector, that Porsche Cup is probably the best car, but he's behind the 2 cars that are worse than it.
It is.
So it's hard to pass there.
Well, look at Van den Doel now. He was 4 tenths clear of Wainwright as they came through the middle sector. There is a car in the pit lane. That is the 777 of Schumacher.
Looking at Cummins,
so he's back in
on
the pits.
Friedman. Cummins is going to have the better straight line speed through Blanchimont. Can he do anything? It looks like the Porsche Cup car held through Blanchimont there a bit better because of the nimbleness. But wow, Friedman makes a move up the inside of Ricci, and that just causes a whole checkup at the bus stop chicane there.
It does
and
indeed.
Someone's lost it. I think someone's gassed it up.
It is the 778. Yeah, they've just returned to the pits. That is Schwab. Schwab and Schumacher. Not the start they'd have wanted. It was actually Michael Harris that Friedman absolutely sent one on there. And now Benny Varga sitting on board with him. Look at that. He's got Friedman and Mirko Ricci side by side. Look at the amount he's gaining over these 2 cars as they come up. Cairns has also got past Wainwright. Oh, Friedman and Mirko Ricci have a touch. Has Ricci held onto it? He has held onto it. That is remarkable. Benny Varga had to escape to the runoff area. Now who's behind Benny Varga? It is 3 wide in the Porsche Cup. Friedman, Harris, and then Mirko Ricci. And here comes Cummins to try and interrupt the party in the Porsche Cup race. He's got past Mirko. He's tapped Friedman. Now Mirko's tapped him. It's a disaster at lap 2 at Le Combe, and it involves at least 2 or 3 Porsche Cup drivers and Alistair Cummins a little late on the brakes. But this is the multi-class racing we wanted to see, and what an opener start. And the difference in cars, Langley, is taking full effect right there.
Oh, I might be on your side very soon, because I think drivers like Falcinelli and De Munster probably are not silver drivers. They'd probably be gold in the Houdarin Cup category. So I'm thinking I'm going to be on your side very soon on this multi-class racing.
I'm telling you, season 11, this could be the Houdarin Cup season. I think this is bringing some entertaining racing. And like you said, the battle for the podium, Wainwright in his Super Trofeo has just dropped off the back of Cairns and Van den Doel a little bit. And Leger is now coming to the party, bringing Maiga with him. Down the order, Harris still on the back of Benny Varga. Cummins has now got back ahead of Will Friedman in this race. He's just behind now that of...
Cairns is all over den Doel.
Yeah.
But he could not get by with that straight line speed. Takes a bit of a better line through Blanchimont, though. Still, the straight line speed is what's holding him back there. But he is the quicker car right now of those 3. So we'll see if he can take advantage. Den Doel goes a bit wide at the last chicane, but even with the Porsche tucked up under the rear wing, not the straight line speed he needs.
No, you just saw there, didn't you, that through the chicane, look through turn 1 at how close he's got to Van den Doel. But Doel now, look, on board with Cairns, and look at how much that Ferrari just pulls away from the Porsche Cup car. And Cairns is helpless in a straight line up through Eau Rouge. There you go, over Radion now. He just gains a little bit through Eau Rouge because Van den Doel struggling on the steering with that Ferrari challenge. So now Cairns has got a run on him, but as the Ferrari gets back up to speed, it slowly starts to pull away again. So Cairns has got to get this move done in the corner and hope that Wainwright can follow him through. But a good train of cars here, and a mixture of Super Trofeos, Porsche Cups and Ferrari Challengers then. A little bit down the order. Let's go down and take a look at Peckman. He's got himself ahead. No, he's fell off the back of Alistair Cummins. Will Friedman is ahead of him. So is Steve Millington now in his Sri Lankan liveried Lamborghini. And if you're wondering why, there's two Sri Lanka flags on the two doors and on the bonnet. And just ahead of these two is Handley and Rob Smith in a Porsche Cup and a Ferrari Challenge, duking it out on the circuit at the moment. And this is what we're going to love about this race, I think. And I think if this becomes a championship, this is where we could see it really play out in full effect. And yeah, I look forward to it, because I think as well, if you give the drivers points per category and not per, like we have done where it's per overall results, if you score these guys per their categories, I think you're going to get some entertaining racing with a mixture of cars throughout the grid. And it's going to make you sort of think strategy-wise, am I worth fighting this guy? I'm not going to gain any extra points.
Yeah, and something I'm surprised we didn't see last week that might take effect this week. And Cairns has gotten by Van den Duel in that middle sector at some point. I'm not sure where, but could we see track limits tonight? And Van den Duel is all over the back of Cairns again, going through Blanchimont. If he gets a better run, he could have a look, but no, not a better run through that chicane, and decides to tuck behind. But he should be all over Cairns into the Lecombe chicane next time round.
You'd imagine so, and this is going to be interesting because he really close up to the back, but Cairns just has that better cornering speed and exit speed through the corners, but so does the Super Trofeo. And I remember doing the Nordschleife at the Nürburgring event a few seasons ago, but with the M2s on circuit as well. It was 10 cars in each category.
Out of turn one.
Matt Wright in the Super Trofeo was all over the rear of my Ferrari Challenge, and it made for a great battle because you pulled away on the straights and he caught me up in the corners. So let's see what Van den Duel can do here. A little slidey through Eau Rouge, up over Radion he goes now, and this will be where, as he carries that speed. I think I saw somebody in the chat group, what's the record for track limits in a race? And Matt Wright kindly reminded everybody that it was Rob Ramsell with 5 at a Ford versus Ferrari event at Misano a few seasons ago. And somebody put in the fun event chat on Discord saying, I think we can beat that tonight.
I do think so.
Spinner, that's Wainwright.
Cars have been going
Sorry,
off.
Langley,
Yeah,
Wainwright in the background, off and hard into the wall at the Lecombe chicane, and this could allow that of Michael Harris to have a look through. So the third place man in Super Trofeo, off he goes, and he's going to have a tough time of that if he's got damage on the side of that car. We have lost Schwab and Schumacher from this race early on, and there is a car on pit road, and that is Neil Broom already. Matt Wright is joining the spectators box, so I assume he's going to be jumping into the commentary seat in a couple of moments' time to join us live in the box. But yeah, that has hurt Wainwright there, and that's kind of spoilt the battle between the three of them because he was all over the back of Van den Duel.
Yeah, we'll see if Van den Duel can keep his Ferrari in check in this middle sector. Definitely slower than Cairns overall, but yeah, I think Cairns in this middle sector has absolutely blitzed the timing sheets and is now 1.3 seconds ahead. So that fight, unfortunately, seems to have fizzled out just a bit. And looking further down the pack, I think ones to look at is Benny Varga closing in on Harris. It's very nice to think, like, okay, I see this Super Trofeo car, definitely faster in a straight line than the Porsche Cup, so might have a chance even if they're 4 or 5 tenths behind going onto a straight.
And you've got to think track dependent. You could somewhere like Monza, you'd fancy that Ferrari Challenge car to be the strongest of the cars. You look at race 1 in the season, Lewis.
Think about Bathurst. About Bathurst. I know. I don't think we have Bathurst this season. We had it last season, but those massive straights, and then the mountain section. It is literally opposite for each.
It's kind of the same for Hungaroring, isn't it? Bar the mountain section and it being so tight. It is a very tight track. You can't really overtake the minute you get to turn 4. So you imagine the Ferrari Challenge would be so superior in that opening sector and maybe the last bit of the final sector. But the middle and the middle sector would all be Porsche Cup and Super Trofeo, where it would have made for such a good race. I really was gutted when we didn't get to pick this category for the racing for next season. As Anchor in the chat says, hi folks, I hope to find you all well. Good luck to everybody. Looking like a great race. Such a great race. Anchor, thanks for joining us live in the chat this evening. Not many people on the YouTube chat, which is a shame. We had great support last week. Hopefully more of the guys will tune in as the racing goes on throughout this evening. But yeah, such a good race so far. It's been a great start to the evening. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel, do hit that subscribe button and like what you see here. Hit that thumbs up and the bell to be notified, because we go live for our championship in 2 weeks' time as Harris sideways coming in towards Pouon. And he's on the back of Wayne right now. And like you said, Langley, that Porsche Cup car, very strong in the middle sector. You just look at our calendar for next season, how many different types of circuits there are. This could have played into all three of these cars' hands, and it could be entertaining. And, I really think season 11 needs to be this kind of multi-class racing.
Yeah, and especially with the classes and then the gold, silver, bronze classes, I could really see it being just so fun. And it would bring some very good racing out on the track.
Yeah, I think so as well. Handley was a 10th off of Rob Smith. He's actually got past Rob Smith. Not sure where. Will Friedman is gaining on the back of Steve Millington. But they're coming towards Blanchimont now. So this is where Millington should be able to pull away just ever so slightly. And we saw the Porsche Cup cars. They qualified well over one lap. But they've dropped a few of them have dropped down the order a little bit as this race has gone on. And so this is going to be interesting to see what Will Friedman can do against the likes of Steve Millington. Friedman, obviously a quality driver. One that I've got my eyes on for that Platinum Championship in Pro this season. Let's move back to Benny Varga and Michael Harris, though, because Harris and Wainwright, in fact, they're all gaining on Van den Doel, Leger and Maiger, though, in front, aren't they, these three? They're all just slowly creeping onto the back of the two Porsche Cup cars and that of Van den Doel. Cairns has checked out for third place, and the two leaders have absolutely left everybody else in their dust. And, at the moment, Varga, Harris and Wainwright just creeping onto the back of Maiger, Leger and Van den Doel here.
Yeah, I part of me wishes that there were a bit more Ferraris in this field tonight. It would have been very fun to see. Because the only one we have up front right now is Van den Doel, and the rest are at the back right now, unfortunately. But I feel like it would have been very fun to see the Ferraris mixed in up and down the grid.
Yeah, I agree. We was a little light on the Ferraris, which is a shame, but either way, it could make for an interesting race. Could you imagine if we'd have had the M2s out there as well? Had 10 category, 10, just a maximum of 10 drivers per category for 40 cars. That was insane when we did the Nürburgring a few seasons ago, but yes.
Well,
that is
if we do the same of plat, gold, silver, bronze, then
yeah, we'd have to work out which colour you'd need for the plat and another one, because some would have to duplicate, wouldn't they? Because you can't use the black numbers on this one because it doesn't let you for some reason. But yeah, that'd make for an interesting Who Darren Cup, wouldn't it? Plat drivers in the Cup, Porsche in whatever, bronze in the M2s at least, and we'd sort it from there, and that'd be an interesting one to see. But Van den Doel now starting to defend from the rear wing of Patrick, from the front bumper, of Patrick Leger, on board with Patrick Leger, in towards Blanchimont they approach. And Leger just losing out. You can just see that Ferrari challenge pulling away ever so slightly. But if we go on with Van den Doel, look at how much Leger will close in under the braking in towards the bus stop chicane they come. Leger just gets closer and closer and closer, and you think, yeah, but that's the effect of braking earlier than the other car is. There is Maiger, who's dropped it in the background, so round he goes towards the entry of the pit lane. I think he may have darted into the pit lane, and you see there, look, Leger just got a little bit closer once again. So Wainwright, Harris and Varga not far off the back now, and Maiger into the pit lane. Wonder what that is for. Neil Broomer's also pitted.
I wonder, because I don't think he had damage, I wonder if he's doing what I hinted at the start of the race, getting out of the traffic. He was on the back of Leger or right behind that battle. I'm wondering if he's just getting his pit stop out the way, get some clean air, push, because that's where this Porsche Cup car thrives, is in clean air, where it's not stuck behind another car in the middle sector. I think that's what he's going to try to do here.
Maybe so. Do you think he could go 75 minutes? Now, if Google is saying that the Porsche Cup is kind of in between the GT3 and the GT4, might be better on its fuel than a GT3 car. So is he going to try and get a 75 minutes, do you think?
It is very far to push that fuel tank, but maybe he's already calculated out in his head, so we'll see.
Wait and see what happens in this race then. Jamie Lee
Broom
is
is already pitted as
pits.
well.
Yeah, Broom
he is
a few laps ago, so we'll keep our eyes on that. As Broom's past Maiger and Jamie Lee now, I do believe, has he? Yeah, he has. He's just passed
Broom. Yeah, but Broom is a lap down, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's going to have to come back now. So he's now on the lead lap with them two at least. So we'll keep our eyes on that. But at the minute, we're watching Van den Doel having a good fight with Patrick Leger. Harris still on the back of Wainwright here. Benny Varga just can't close in anymore. He's just actually gained a couple of tenths through sector number 2.
I did just realize that there is a required pit stop in this race.
Yeah, I forgot to turn it off like a fool. As we say good evening to Tips in the chat. I forgot to turn it off. Yeah, that was my bad. I rushed upstairs from my dinner, set the server up and forgot to do it. I also forgot to change 2 of the car drivers' numbers, Handley in the Porsche Cup, and I think one of the Super Trofeos are running red. Yeah, the leader's running red, so that's my fault as well. But nevertheless, we're all right. We're good to go. We're still running. And what has been a good start to this race. And yeah, interesting to see the difference in cars playing out here. Friedman's still trying to attack the back of Steve Millington at the moment, but Steve just being able to keep that car in front with its overall pace. And obviously Friedman's got a bit of damage on his car from the earlier incident in this race. Maiger's done his stop. Jamie Lee's still into the pit, so he is going to fall a lap down as well. And out front it is Falcinelli who has the fastest lap of the race from De Munster. Then it is Cairns from Van den Doom, who's just pulled away a little bit from Patrick Leger. Wainwright, Michael Harris, Benny Varga, Mirko Ricci from Gabino, with Betterson, Millington, Friedman, Richie Michel from Cummins, Handley, Rob Smith, Malarex, Peckman, Maiger, Jamie Lee in the pits. Then is Neil excuse me, then it's Neil Broom, and we have lost Schumacher and Schwab from this race. And Gabino was actually gaining on the back a little bit of Mirko Ricci on their run down the Kemmel Straight. Whoa, a bit sideways there for Gabino. Manages to keep it all pointing in the right direction as they come through the Lecombe chicane down towards the hairpin corner before No Name then. So great start to this race. We are about 15 minutes in. There's a yellow flag. That is car number 7 of Handley, who has had a moment. Oh, and he has stacked it big time into the wall at the top of El Rouge and Radion. He has returned to the pit lane. Hopefully he gets that damage repaired and back out on the circuit. It'd be a shame to see another retirement early on. But either way, good start to this fun event, and the drivers just getting into the rhythm of their cars now.
Yeah, exactly. I would have no idea what stacking it around here would be like. So, that it's a shame for Hanley there.
Oh,
I kicked you straight face.
You'd also have no idea of what a throttle pedal working feels like in the pit lane.
It just we forgot to connect the fuel. You know, we forgot to connect the fuel.
Forgot to connect your throttle was more the point. You know, it was P10.
It was connected.
Oh dear. I was wondering what we are on about. Me and Langers, we did a 4-hour race on Le Mans Ultimate at the weekend at Spa, and I handed over the car to Langley in P10. His throttle didn't work, and then he spun at Pouhon, and then he spun at Blanchimont, and we drove for over 2 hours with broken suspension that didn't actually affect the car as Mirko Ricci goes round with Gabino on the back of him, and he's lost out to Gabino, Bettison, Steve Millington and Will Friedman, and potentially that of Cummins and his brother Richie Michel as well. So if you're wondering why we're referencing spinning at Spa and things like that, that is why for the Mono Switch 4 hours. But we brought it back to finishing the top 10. We did really well to finish in the top 10. And we beat a fellow commentator of mine that I work with on another championship. So Tristan Herbst, if you're listening, get in.
I would have no idea what you mean by stacking it. It's blasphemy about me stacking it. Top 10 finish.
The best part of that race was when there was yellow flags coming around Blanchimont, and all Langley saw was a tyre on the racing line, and he had to avoid the tyre that he nearly hit. the car that had lost the tyre on the outside. It was absolutely brilliant. Cummins going side by side with Richie Michel in the background as Richie Michel looks up the inside, runs a little deep at the first part of the com, cuts across the corner, and Cummins went wide to avoid him and manages to keep it on the circuit. So a little bit of a battle duking it out there. Millington fending off that of Will Freedman for the time being. There is his Sri Lankan liveried car. As we can say a very good evening to better late than never, Matt Wright. Good evening, buddy.
Good evening.
How are we
doing tonight?
Yeah, very well. Yourself?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Lang has got something to say to you, but I don't think he's brave enough to say it on air, so he'll be telling you after we come off of it. I'm going to give you an heads up. Yeah,
that makes me worried.
You don't need to be worried. It's been a great start to the race. I don't know if you've managed to see any of the stream, but it's been a great start to the race.
I haven't. No, I switched it on about 12 minutes ago now, and saw that it's quite a mixture in the field of the different cars.
Imagine if we'd have done this for Hoodarran Cup. Yeah, crazy.
It would have been carnage.
I don't think so.
What happened there? Fill me in.
Not a lot. Quali was really interesting. Jumbled up grid. Kind of the Porsche Cups more towards the front. The Super Trofeos took up the midfield. The Ferrari Challengers at the back. Kind of as we expected. And then there was one incident where 3 Porsche Cup cars was 3 wide, and the Super Trofeo tried to send it on them into the Lecombe chicane. And there was a bit of contact, and that's all we've seen in this race. Schumacher and Schwab have retired, they have left the server, but we didn't see them involved in an incident. So we've only seen the one incident in this race, and it's been pretty good, Lang, hasn't it?
I think at this point, Leger's stuck behind the Ferrari, which is kind of what I was hinting at. And also why I kind of wish there was more Ferraris in this field, because Leger is way faster in the middle sector, but you can see that any moment that he gets to overtake, it just is shut down from the Ferrari straight line speed.
Yeah, and this is where it's going to be interesting. I think if this is the Hoodarran Cup for season 11, like you said, bar Falcinelli and De Munster, who's running away with this a little bit, maybe they would have been the goal drivers more in that Porsche Cup car. I think that you'd see a real jumbled up grid, and had we got them extra Ferrari Challenge drivers in, I think you'd have seen something really special. But at the moment, I think it's been a pretty good race. We've got Malarex with Peckman closing in on him. We have just lost Handley from this race as well, so we are down to the 21 drivers. Wainwright catching onto the back of Benny Varga, so he's fell behind Benny Varga and Harris somewhere. But yeah, you're right, Leger just cannot get past this Ferrari. And all in the middle sector is where Leger can get onto the back of him. The minute they hit that back stretch of Tarmac, as Van den Doel just taking too much curb there, and the Ferrari just struggling to get through the corner. The minute they get through these 2 corners is where Van den Doel is going to be
it here.
Leger up the inside. Yeah, Leger was a bit optimistic with that manoeuvre there.
Yeah, but honestly, I can't blame him too much. You can't get by anywhere else. So he tried it, and he's probably going to lose one more to the Super Trofeo here with the straight line speed. But if I were him, I'd consider pitting at this point if he can make it to the end. Get out the traffic, get in the clean air. That's what Maiga's done, and you see him going down to the Lecombe chicane. Perfectly clean air.
Perfectly clean air for Maiga. There he is, who has only got the 2 leaders ahead of him. No, he's not, sorry. He's got the 2 leaders behind him, but quite a way behind. And he's got a perfectly clear track in front of him coming through. Where am I even seeing Maiga on the track map at the moment? I'm on board him. He's at the hairpin. Yeah, so he's on the red dot. That's because he was on board him. I kept looking at his red dot thinking that's not right.
If you want maximum chaos, and you have the gold drivers in the Porsche Cups and the bronze drivers in the Ferrari Challenge, reverse grid.
Full reverse grid, not just per class.
I'm
a fan of that even more, Angus. I'm a fan of that even more.
By class reverse grid. So you have the Ferraris at the front, Trofeos in the middle, Porsche Cups at the back.
So a reverse grid per class, but a full reverse grid as well. I'm a real big fan of that. A real big fan of that. Langley was saying right here on air just a few moments ago that, if we'd have had the M2s out there, platinum, gold, silver, bronze, that'd be an interesting season, wouldn't it?
Say again?
Only
M2s,
problem with the M2s is that they are just
Too slow.
too slow. Yeah. I don't know how the GT4s would work though. They're even pretty slow. That's the thing.
Yeah, they'd still lose out to these. We've got a good Ferrari, Lamborghini and Lamborghini and Porsche battle happening right now. Van den Doel is fending off Harris, who's fending off Benny Varga, with Wainwright not a million miles away in his Super Trofeo. And you could just see how much that Ferrari struggles through corners. This is giving me flashbacks to Fiore, Matt Wright and myself at Nürburgring a few seasons ago, where I managed to come out victorious against the two. And yeah, look at this. Now this is where, let's go on board with Michael Harris once again.
I don't believe he did actually. I got past you eventually.
I don't think he did. I think we'll have to watch that stream back
Yeah,
and have a
so
look.
that-
I say this is where Van den Doel's going to pull away, but Michael Harris has gone side by side with him towards Blanchimont. But look at the Ferrari's horsepower. 670 ponies under that bonnet, pulling it along towards Blanchimont he goes, sliding through Blanchimont as it just wants to understeer wide, and he manages to get back ahead of the Porsche Cup car. Sorry, Wright, what was you about to say?
Oh, he goes deep. He goes deep. He goes deep. Harris around the outside. Oh, he almost oversteers
Harris
on the throttle. We're going to have almost 3 wide into turn 1, but the Ferrari stretches its legs, and Harris back down the inside of both of them.
Oh, what a move.
Can he get it done?
No, he's had a slide
gasses it up
again.
No,
Oh my
not
God.
again.
Now they're going to be 3
Ferrari's gonna
wide.
beat him.
Now they're going to be 3 wide. They could be 2 wide come the beginning of Eau Rouge. No, they're not. They're going to be single file because of the difference in the straight line speeds. And somehow Benny Varga's got ahead of Michael Harris there. But that clearly showed you the better on the brakes was the Porsche. The better through the corners was the Porsche. But the better in a straight line is that Ferrari challenge as the Super Trofeo of Benny Varga goes to defend from Michael Harris in the background. Harris is going to try and go around the outside and does on Benny Varga, who has to brake earlier. So the Porsche best on the brakes, Ferrari best on the straight. Super Trofeo just in that middle ground.
Ooh, that's close. Oh, that was close. Harris just needs to be a little easy on the throttle. And I think he could get the move done quite soon. But yeah, I'll have some of this any day.
100%. You imagine this a fight for the gold, silver and bronze championship on the line at the Donington Decider, and this is the battle to win it. Oh, that'd be immense.
This is what puts me off of it though. Is because you're going to have 3 different classes. Ooh, Ferrari nearly went.
Yeah, Ferrari has gone. It's gone very wide
little
at Poo
twitch,
on.
little
Benny
twitch at the
Varga
back
also
there
went
and
wide
just
at
lost
Poo
it.
on.
But yeah, for me, if there's drivers in different classes, they shouldn't be getting held up by a car that's in a different
This is where
class.
This is where
to
They
it.
make the overtake.
This
They
is
make the overtake.
this is where, as you as a driver, have to pick and choose your battle in terms of is it worth fighting in that championship, and this is where you as an admin have to make sure them classes are spot on. Absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
Because if there'd be any complaints, we just all point, well, Matt Wright does the classes, so go and speak with him. Because he's the man to talk to on that situation.
Well, it's the one job we haven't given you too much slack for yet, so don't make us start.
Hey, we can't give him slack for FIFA as much as he's telling people in the Discord. He's actually doing well at that. Scored 2 headers the other night, so we can't give him too much slack.
Because he's put the badge on his player.
It's not like he's got no goals or no assists in an evening, is it?
I hate that to be me.
I hate that to be you if your team gets promoted. Oh, shit.
Yeah, especially when you're playing CDM.
Right, we've got a fight between Harris and Benny Varga, and further back, Wainwright is on the rear once again of Van den Doel. Further down the order, Leger is trying to gain onto the back of Gabino. Millington has been overtaken by Will Friedman, but Millington having a look up towards the beginning part of Eau Rouge. Steve having a very brave look there, the Sri Lankan driver for the day. As he comes now down the Kemmel Straight, can that Super Trofeo gain? I think he's lost too much through Eau Rouge and Radion over Will Friedman to get onto the back of him. Any other close battles down the back? Yes, Peckman on the back of Malarex then. Further down the field, Rob Smith has done his pit stop, so is Jamie Lee, Neil Broom and Maiger. Are they going to the end? That's going to be the interesting thing to keep our eyes on as Peckman closes in on the Ferrari challenge once again. So a great few battles happening here or there, and the closest one is Wainwright on Van den Doel at the moment.
Van den Doel is new.
He's the guy in the hot who did his hot stint, I do believe.
Yeah.
Him who posted in the Hot Stuff channel.
I think he's signed up in Dudan Cup, I believe, and Falcinelli as well.
Falcinelli, yeah, that's the guy we struggled to find.
Also, yes, he has signed up as well. He is in the gold division in Dudan Cup.
Yeah, I think he could be one to watch in that gold division. With no Kieran O'Reilly or anybody yet, I think Falcinelli, based off this Super Trofeo performance, and I know it's a completely different car, but based off of this performance, 6/10 quicker in qualifying, no, nearly 7/10, Langley, if I'm correct, I think he could be one to keep our eyes on in this.
I will tell you what his pace was.
Has Van den Doel signed up to the Houdarin Cup?
There's someone else I'm thinking of.
Yeah, somebody else. I can't see Van den Doel on there. Van den Doel is the guy who's just done his hot stint today to race tonight. So, obviously, followed his welcome message to hopefully be able to race tonight. But obviously, it's a fun event. We don't require hot stints to be done for the fun event.
So, Falcinelli was a 44.6 race pace hot stint.
Platinum? Is that for GT3?
Platinum. It is platinum. Not lightning.
No, I'd say around Mike Mathew sort of area.
Yeah, so just doesn't spin as much as Mike.
Ooh.
Another driver on the grid that's quicker than you, Matt.
I've been disconnected momentarily.
I've said to.
So please bear with me, chat. We'll get back into the session as quick as we can.
I think it's only you.
Yeah, it might only be me. There should have been 21 drivers. It's saying no servers found for me, so that's absolutely brilliant. Right, I'm going to pop us on a break screen while I get... Okay, back in the lobby, and let's get back onto the action right now. So we're back on with Falcinelli, who is absolutely doing bits out there at the moment. He's about to lap somebody, it looks like. That is...
I'd be looking at Benny Varga and Michael Harris. Varga's been slowly moving his way up this back, and he is now right tucked up under the rear wing of Michael Harris. Having a look into the bus stop, goes to the outside, brakes later. Can he hold it around that outside? No, he cannot. They both go a bit deep, but Harris holds on to the position for now. Yeah, Benny's been working his way. He started 11th or 12th, I think, and he's just kept his nose clean, and he's been working his way, looking to the outside at turn 1. He should have a good run. Harris parks it pretty well there, but Benny still gets the switch back on the right now. On the outside for Air Rouge, we'll have him cleared by the time they get there.
Yeah, crazy the difference in speed there. So Benny Varga moves up into 4th place overall. He is obviously 3rd in that Super Trofeo class. We were saying at the top of the programme that somebody was asking in the chat earlier, Righty, how many drive-throughs has a driver had in a single race? You told them about Rob Ramsell's 5 in the Ford versus Ferrari. Harris is coming back at Benny Varga, using that overspeed through Eau Rouge just so he can carry a bit more momentum through the Eau Rouge and Radion section. Benny Varga goes deep at the Le Combe chicane, and Benny Varga will have to probably yield that position, and indeed he does. Going to drop back though down towards Gabino.
Hasty fight going on just behind, yeah.
Yeah, it was on about the drive-through for one driver in a race, and obviously you alerted the guys in the Discord that it was Rob Ramsell 5 at Misano as Gabino's gone deep, and that could allow Friedman through. No, it won't. So far, no drive-through penalty. So at the minute, everybody doing a good job.
Yeah, I think it's Radion, isn't it? Is the key one here, but it's although you get a lot of track limit warnings, it doesn't usually sort of penalise you for it because it's a flat out corner and you don't really gain much time by cutting it, so it's still tricky to get a lot of track limits around here. But
I think the other worst one
could happen.
is the exit of Blanchemont. Going too wide on the exit there is another one where you can just possibly gain a track cut. Now on the back of Harris, look at that. We've got the likes of Benny Varga and we've got Van den Doel, who just dipped within a second through sector 2. He'll get a little bit closer here. He's got Wainwright tucked up underneath his rear wing. And this is where Van den Doel can just gain a little bit more over Harris and Benny Varga. The problem is he's got to have a big lift, I think, through Blanchemont, because look at that, nearly runs out wide. This is going to give Wainwright a look around the outside of the bus stop chicane. Breaks a little bit earlier than Van den Doel, can't get it done there. But Van den Doel definitely getting closer and bringing Leger, Gabino, Friedman and Millington along. This is a great train of cars this could turn out to be.
And Wrighty says he doesn't want multi-class racing. Come on. Come on, this is beautiful.
Wainwright up the
I
inside.
didn't say multi-class racing.
Oh.
I just these particular cars.
Van den Doel's going to try and come back.
I love
to
multi-class.
Hang on a minute, going to go to Benny Varga and
Varga
Michael
too.
Harris. Side by side, up through Eau Rouge, Super Trofeo and Porsche Cup, neck and neck. Varga has to cut at the top of Radion Hill, surely have to yield that place. Wainwright, spinner in the background. Whoa, contact with Friedman, who just couldn't do anything to avoid him there. That could be Friedman out of this race. Did Benny Varga lift? No, he didn't. Harris back up the inside, in towards the Lacombe chicane. And is Harris going to get this one done? Varga holding it strong around the outside. Harris loses the rear slightly. And Varga now finally through. Friedman does return to the pit lane. Not a lot Will Friedman could have done there. Wainwright was stopped, but Friedman just couldn't avoid him.
Yeah, it was coming up the hill, and Van den Doel just tapped the back of Wainwright as they were coming through and just spun him round. That's just Ferrari's pace, I think. Again, he's had too much pace coming up the hill and just unfortunately clipped the back of him.
I'm surprised he took that much pace because me and Langley have been seeing Van den Doel a little all over the place through Eau Rouge and Blanchemont. I feel the Ferrari has to have a bit more of a lift, so maybe Van den Doel carried a bit too much speed up there, a little too much confidence, and the Ferrari just didn't like it as Harris has to get out the brakes there nearly into the back of Benny Varga. So Patrick Leger up past Van den Doel as well. Gabino's now on the back of Van den Doel. Dropping down back to Richie Michel. He's trying to gain on Richard Betterson. And Will Friedman into the pits. That'll be a lengthy pit stop for Will Friedman there. Dan Davis, Lambo versus Porsche is what he's saying. Two cars that Dan absolutely adores. And what a battle this has been. This is a great race so far, a great event. Great to see Dan in the chat as well. I hope you're doing well, Dan. But yeah, what an event this is turning out to be.
Look, Gabino right on the back of Van den Doel now. He's that Ferrari is really getting put under pressure out there.
And Steve Millington, Langley, the only guy who didn't set a lap in qualifying, now running in the top 10 overall. That's not a bad race from Steve Millington at the moment. The Sri Lankan driver doing pretty well.
Not a bad race at all, and he's in a battle for P7 at the moment. And Van den Doel, Gerbino, and Millington all right next to each other right now.
Oh, Steve!
Very late on the brakes.
That's a big send from Steve Millington there. He's not got the run out the corner. A bit of hip and shoulder with Gabino out of turn number 1. Through La Source they go. Gabino will take that position back and will hang on into that for the time being. But Steve Millington, huge send there from the driver. And I'm going to assume this is how Langley would say it, from Sri Lanka. Is that how you'd say that, Langley?
They're running him up here now. Millington could make a move into the next corner.
Around the outside, can Millington make it stick? They're really close to each other. Millington holds it around the outside, but not enough space to make it happen on the inside for the second part of that chicane. Good racing from the both of them. A little bit of argy-bargy out of the first corner, but nothing too over the top, I would say.
No, pretty decent that. Wainwright's managed to get the car back round into the pit lane. Yeah, we're all good, thank you, Dan. Thanks for asking.
Benny Varga, I think he's lapping someone. Yeah,
that's
he's
Rob
lapping
Smith.
Someone. I saw.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
Rob Smith in his pink-coloured car, and if you haven't guessed it, that's probably the livery colours he's going to run for this season, because he tends to run the same colours all around, and that's the same kind of pink he was running last week. Falcinelli, let's not forget, leads this race in his Super Trofeo from De Munster. Cairns is P3 overall in the Porsche. Then it's Benny Varga running fourth, third in class. Harris is second in class, fifth overall. Patrick Leger is on the podium in class as well. Your leader in Ferrari Challenge is Van den Doel, who's got Gabino and Millington right behind him. Alistair Cummins is ahead of Mirko Ricci, who is running in the Porsche Cup car. Then it's Bettison from Richie Michel. Malarek second in the Ferrari Challenge class from Peckman. Wainwright into the pits. So Meiger, I believe, has just got past him. And then a lap down to Wainwright is Rob Smith, who's being lapped by the field here to go 2 laps down. But he's already pitted. Leger, day late, dollar short from Patrick Leger there, as Rob Smith had to turn in at some point. And a bit of contact made between the two. Yeah, Leger. Leger just had to wait a little bit more there, you'd imagine. Neil Broom running in 19th, Friedman still in the pits, and Jamie Lee, who's just unlapped himself from Friedman. I think that puts him on the same lap as Will Friedman now, running in 21st. We've lost Handley, Schwab and Schumacher in this race so far, and Gabino still attacking the back of Van den Doel, with Millington still trying to get close to the back of Gabino. But what a race this is turning out to be. We're approaching half distance, and Mirko Ricci comes into the pits.
Well, here's a good point for the multi-class. I think we can all agree that Van den Doel is probably not a bronze driver.
Correct.
So, Righty, I know you said that it turns you off because they'd be getting stuck behind other cars, but a fair point is most of the bronze drivers are where they usually are right now. They're having their own fight. This mix-up is mostly between the Porsche Cup and the Super Trofeo cars. That is the main mix-up a little bit. And if we eliminate what I said about reverse grid, then you would still get the Porsche Cup cars and mostly Super Trofeo cars all fighting each other. Because you can see the ones who are silver right now are all together. Benny Varga is not silver anymore, he's gold.
Who Darren Cup's different, isn't it, though? So he could be a Who Darren Cup silver.
That's true. But still, I feel like it is a fair point that they probably wouldn't be getting held up as much if it were actually class-based.
I agree with you, Langers. I think it's all on Matt Wright to make sure the classes are spot on as Millington gets the run on Gabino. Don't think they're going to pass Van den Doel, because this is where he's going to try and pull away. He's going to have a look on Van den Doel as they come towards Blanchimont. Van den Doel's always a bit understeery through Blanchimont, just has enough to stay in front. This is where, though, he's a bit slower than the Super Trofeos because he has to have a bigger lift. But I think Millington really backed out of that one. Now Millington's under pressure from the outside of Gabino into the chicane that becomes the inside for Gabino.
Move.
Oh, that is a great move.
Oh, God. Millington had to back out of that because he was caught with his pants down there.
Season 11 Who Darren Cup for sure, based off that move there, I think.
Perfect time to sneak into the pits, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't overtake me, I was pitting.
yeah, that's the excuse. Yeah. That's the excuse. No, I was always going to pit this lap, yeah. Dan saying in the chat, being a Volkswagen lover, what do we think of the Audi F1 car? Poor.
Terrible.
Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan.
It looks like a battery. I
haven't actually seen it, to be honest.
It looks like an Energizer battery. Forward him the link you sent me, because that was brilliant.
It does look like an Energizer battery.
I thought the initial livery that Audi released when they announced he was coming into Formula 1 looks better than this new one. I hope Audi do well. Best of luck to them. Not a big fan of the livery. Underwhelming, in my opinion. I think the Haas is the nicest looking car so far. That's not me being Red Bull biased, because I think the Red Bull looks really nice as well. I just think the Haas looks better.
I think the Red Bull looks better. And honestly, I think this gen of cars already
look better.
Way better.
Yeah.
Way better than the ground effect gen. Because I think this gen of cars just already looks 10 times better.
Yeah,
and I really like the Red Bull because of the nostalgia factor.
Is it me? Does it kind of look a bit old school, but in a new way? This generation of cars?
Exactly. Yeah,
like
it kind of looks like the early or late 2000s front wings almost.
Yes,
in a way, because of how narrow they are, but they are newer.
PM, I came into the chat and hear pants down. That's interesting. Benjamin Rook, boring livery, unfortunately, will be interesting to see how they do. Dan says, funny though, that Caddy and Audi are the only cars that's been out testing. Yeah, I find that interesting that they've got a bit more track time in than other teams.
The V-Carb has been testing.
Stop and go penalty for Steve Millington. So not only did he get overtaken by Gabino, and it was an overtake by Gabino at the final corner, he's now got a stop-go penalty as Gabino is trying to put pressure on Van den Doel. And, an aggressive 2000s era. Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm going with that, Dan. I think they look really nice. There was no liveries today. I think there's 2 tomorrow and 1 on Friday. As Gabino now decides that he's going to come into the pit lane. So where are we with a fight? No real fights happening now on circuit. So let's go on a driver we've not seen much today. Richard Betton. We've not seen a lot of him. Go on board him for a little bit. And we can just chat a bit about F1 if we want to. Alpine was out today, was they? Oh, I thought they was tomorrow. Let's take a look then. Formula 1.
Someone has a
BBC
calendar.
Sport. No, nothing's on there as on BBC Sport. F1 2026.
Lads, I will be back real quick. I have to step away real quick.
Oh, Alpine's been out testing. There we go. Right, the dates.
Most drivers now completing their stops out there now.
Yeah, they are indeed.
Another 5 in the pits, and it's looking like Will Friedman is going to be a retirement. He's still sitting in the pits.
Oh, that's a shame.
And Wainwright is back out, so I think he's sitting there for the rest of the night, retiring the car.
Let's take a look then at. Somebody give me an image. I want to scroll through everything. There we go. No, that's not fully neat there. Is this one full? Yeah, so tomorrow is Haas and Alpine. No, Haas have already done this. So why is that saying that's the wrong date? Brilliant. Alpine, I believe, is tomorrow. It's saying Haas as well, but Haas have already launched theirs. It's not McLaren, because McLaren and Aston Martin are doing theirs on the same day. So, yeah, I've seen a picture somewhere of the full release dates of the cars. Alpine and somebody are definitely releasing their cars tomorrow. That is for certain, sure. It might be Mercedes, actually, tomorrow as well. So, yeah. Aston will just be the same as normal. I think the Mercedes will just be the same as normal. Ferrari will just be the same as normal. Williams, I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm interested to see what McLaren will be. Will they change it a little bit now that they've got drivers and constructors champions? Williams, the Cadillac one, I was really looking forward to Audi with it being new. Cadillac is another one I'm looking forward to seeing as well. So we'll see what comes out tomorrow. I think it's Alpine and Mercedes. Yeah, it's Mercedes.
Got a new favourite team now.
Who? Me? Cadillac?
I do. No.
Oh,
me.
Yeah. I thought you supported the only American team on the grid, which was Haas.
The thing is, you have to think of it this way. You're almost supporting a name, not a constructor. So it's very hard to get behind what is...
Yeah, but they've got Ocon.
Okay.
We've got Falconelli's made his pit stop now as well, coming up.
Yeah, he's on
marker, I believe, there.
Yeah, I think
Harris, the closest pitter,
Peckman.
who's 52 seconds back.
It is Peckman. He's gaining on the back of Peckman. Richie Michel into the pits. Cairns also into the pits. So De Munster leads briefly from Benny Varga, from Patrick Leger. Van den Doel still going as well. Going to be interesting to see the difference in these. Oh, that is Jamie Lee having an off there. Friedman has left, so yeah, Friedman has retired from his race. It's going to be interesting to see the different fuel loads of these cars. Which ones can go that little bit longer? So Falconelli has gone in now, but again, just depends on if they've half-fueled or not. Ben said, I've sent it today in the Motorsports chat into Discord about the Alpine testing. Dan saying the Honda is apparently under power and struggling. That just sounds like an everyday Honda. Give Adrian Newey a
full circle. Full circle.
Depends who was in the seat. Right, it could be under power and struggling.
Oh, I just forgot Alonso's back with Honda.
But
oh boy!
GP2 engine, GP2. Brilliant. Oh my God, you have to sort that. And we were speaking about it going full circle the other day. Langers, tell the audience what we were saying the other day.
Well, I was talking about when when Aston Martin was a sponsor on the Red Bull rear wing, and Honda just started powering them in 2019. And now it's full circle because Aston Martin left Red Bull as a sponsor to become a full team, and now Honda is powering Aston Martin. So back to where they originally came from, I guess.
Yep.
Well, not originally, but when they actually started becoming good in the sport again, like an actual respected engine manufacturer, I should say.
Honda's a great manufacturer to have as an engine. Beautiful cars, beautiful engines. And I really hope Lance Stroll wins his first championship.
What about that 2015, 16, 17 era for Honda, Matt?
I don't really remember that one. I think you're lying and making it up. They did well in the touring cars that year, I can tell you that.
You think Alonso's line as well?
It was a bad dream. It was just a bad dream. He had a nightmare. For 3 years straight, he had a nightmare. And then went to
It
Alpine.
seems like his whole career after 06.
Yeah, true that. Right, on board with Alistair Cummins.
That's another debate.
Who's gone for a camouflage livery. Not that that's going to camouflage him from anything in particular, because it's that bright and vagrant that you'll be able to see that from a mile off with his yellow, orange and blue on the car. But he's up to 9th place now. Maiga's running up in P8. Maiga pitted very, very early. It's going to be interesting to see if he can do the whole hour in this race. We're down to 19 drivers now. I believe we've lost Jamie Lee from the race as well. Neil Broom going round on the lead lap at the moment as well. But De Munster still not pitted. Will he come into the pits this time around? I'm look. Go on, Logan. Sorry.
I was going to say, Matt, I'm going to blame Steve Millington's woes on you. I'm blaming that on you.
I blame it on the fact he got overtaken by Gabino at the final corner.
Well, I don't know. Somebody decided to, compliment him right as he got in the top 10, and then, a minute later. I
complimented Gabino, and he didn't get a stop-go penalty.
Well, when you catch people with their pants down, yes, that is where that came from.
Yeah.
You don't get stop-go penalties, but
no, you don't. You don't. Audi back to Project Motor Racing, back to Power Max Racing in the touring cars. I think we talked about it a bit last season. Looking forward, great to see Audi back on the grid. Great to see Mercedes back on the touring car grid. Very interesting to see why Plato has gone that choice. Obviously, new team to the touring car grid. I'd be interested to see why he's gone Mercedes, why he's gone down that route. But I love it. I think it's brilliant. I'm intrigued to see who he's going to get in as drivers. Obviously, the last couple of Mercedes drivers on the touring car grid was Aidan Moffat, Adam Morgan, Dan Rowbottom. Now, I think Dan Rowbottom will still be at Napa. I think Adam Morgan will still be at Virtue. I think he'll still be in the Fords and the Hyundais.
The Mercedes
Moffat, I think he'll still be at WSR. So I'm intrigued as to see who Plato's bringing in as a driver. But I'm glad to see the Merc and Audi back. Two good manufacturers. Shame to see Vauxhall go, but I think it was there last year anyway. And then the new team with two new cars. I can't wait to see that happen and play out. Benny Varga's not pitted. De Munster has. Patrick Leger carries on his way, and so does Van den Doel as well. Yeah, Mercedes and Alpine tomorrow, Langers?
It says Alpine's on the 23rd with Ferrari on Friday.
Oh, that might be them two on Friday and Merc tomorrow. I know there's two releasing on the same day this week. The Ferrari will be red, I can tell you that.
No, I think it'll be blue. And I'm not lying.
I'd love it to be blue. I'd love it to be any colour other than red.
I'm not saying the whole car. I'm not saying the main color, but there will be blue on it, unfortunately. And blue and red, those two don't go together.
When they did, was it the...
We'll go back to original yellow.
Was it the Miami race?
If they put an HP logo on it, it should be white. It should be white. Just the letters. Not the outline circle, just the letters, and it's just white. Would look way better.
See, Lewis Hamilton got a new race engineer for this year. See what that can bring for Lewis.
I don't know. I don't know who it is yet. Yeah. They just said that they're replacing him.
Yep. So that could be interesting for Lewis. See what he does this year. I mean, let's be honest. I think Ferrari need a bit more than just a new race engineer for Lewis Hamilton, don't they? I think they need a bit more backroom staff than that. What was it that the race engineer said to Leclerc in the first race when he says, "Why is my seat full of water?" He said, "It must be the water then." And that'll win you a championship. Race has just come to that mid-stage sort of lull before it all comes back together at the end of this race. Remember, this is Super Trofeo, Porsche Cup and Ferrari Challenge. Final fun event of the off-season. 2 weeks' time, we'll head to the Hungaroring for the start of the Season 10 Championship, Pro-Am and the Houdaran Cup, returning back to the GT4s, in which should be a fantastic season opener in Hungary. Benny Varga's home country, Salangers. You've got a lot of expectation there, because Benny Varga will be hoping for a good home race.
Well, I still haven't decided if I'm going to do wheel or not. I was going to drive tonight on the wheel, but I didn't have the pack, so I picked the Super Trofeo,
The original.
and realized it's 10 seconds slower than the Evo 2. So I did not end up doing that.
That would have been fun to see you out there just plodding along. You'd have got a good 90 minutes worth of racing on the wheel. That would have been that. Dan's saying that I'm extremely excited for Le Mans 27 and 28 is going to be massive. I'm just excited for them WEC seasons. Not just Le Mans, the whole championship is going to be brilliant in 27, 28 with the manufacturers coming back. Daytona 24 is this weekend, PN. Ford, Genesis, McLaren in Hypercar, maybe Porsche return to... Well, Genesis is this year. Genesis are on the WEC grid this year, so bring on April for the Qatar race, see what Genesis can do, and see what Aston Martin can do. I think they could be a bit better this year as well. They ended the season strong, so we'll keep our eyes on that. Matt, do you watch much racing other than Formula 1 and bits like that?
I don't really, to be honest.
You should.
Yeah, I try and follow the Formula 1 the best I can. Most of the time I only have time to watch the highlights rather than actually watching the races, but yeah, I would like to watch more, but finding time for my own leisure is tricky when you've got 2 young kids.
Yeah, I know all about that, but to be fair, my eldest loves the touring car, so I get to watch that as well, so yeah, it's quite nice. You ought to go to a GT event at Donington, or the touring cars at Donington. Bring the kids, bring the missus, bring a tent, camp the weekend.
Yeah, the boy. I've taken the boy to Brands Hatch twice to go and watch the GTs, World GTs and the British GTs. But yeah, it's good. It's good fun. It's nice, isn't it? Yeah, actually being there, watching it, hearing the sounds of the cars, it's just another level to the
if I'm right,
excitement
didn't
of the
you
racing.
see one of Ayrton Senna's old F1 cars at one of the GTs last year go round? Or it was meant to go round, wasn't it? I think the one that you went to with Rob.
Yeah, I don't. Not sure. We didn't see it.
Oh, it must not have gone round then. I'm sure it was scheduled to do like a hot lap of the circuit.
There was something, actually, I can't remember what it was. I think there was something that led the cars round on the safety lap.
Nice. Wasn't a bus, was it? They did a bus. The
formation lap, sorry.
Yeah, they had a bus of people go round at Donington Park one year.
We should get an M2 to be the safety car.
Oh.
I've seen bus racing, double-decker racing. Have you seen that?
I have not, no.
Have a look at double-decker racing. That's quite interesting.
I'll YouTube it later. I'm sure that's fun to watch. Yeah, Jesus. I wouldn't like to be a passenger on board that bus that day. That'd be a scary travel, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. Vanden Dole, is still in second place at the moment. Him and Benny Varga have not pitted, and I have got the time.
They have to pit, right? Right? There's no way.
Where's Benny Varga on this
They've got to pit because they've got to complete a mandatory pit. But I think, in the last final event, we saw Benny go splash and dash, didn't we?
We did, yeah. Well, they've both got 32 litres left in their tank. So, but they, like you say, they have got to pit this time around. Matt Wright likes football
25
and likes Man U. Matt Wright does not like Man United. I can tell you that one now. We've got that one from Phil.
No.
He's a Crystal Palace
I do like football. Football was my sport.
Here we go. I used to play back in the day as a centre mid and distribute the ball.
Would have made it if he didn't get hurt. Blah blah blah. Thank story.
I was way too lazy to make it anywhere.
Oh dear.
But yeah, football was the sport.
Is that why you don't complete your pass
racing
now?
Yeah. I'm not there to complete passes. I'm there to stick it in the back of the net.
Yeah.
I'm a Haaland striker. Shoot on sight.
Yeah, but you don't.
Yeah.
Deal with the consequences later.
You get into the box just poking them easy tap-ins. You like Gary Lineker, arguably. Just tap him in.
I usually set up them tap-ins.
Yeah.
We set up tap-ins for each other.
Thank you for the compliment.
No, yeah, I'm not going to bring you down. You do score a lot of goals. You're top scorer this season.
It's not a criticism.
It's not a criticism, no. Not a criticism. Oh, brilliant. Right, we're watching Van den Doolen, who still decides to stay out on track. Him and Benny Varga have got just under 30 litres of fuel left in their tanks, so they're still on their way at the moment, down to the 19 runners in this race. And who haven't we been on board with a lot in this race? We've not really seen much of Rob Smith. Steve Millington, after his stop-go, is 18th place. He's coming through Stavolo now, while Peckman, he's not massively at road, 6.9 seconds, so Steve could try and gain some places in that one. But yeah, we've not seen much of Rob Smith, who is, interestingly, running the Nissan this season in Pro-Am. So there is still a Nissan on the grid, Langers. We still get to commentate on one of them, and Rob Smith will be hoping it takes him to bronze glory this season. And if it does as well as Michael Johnson did in it last season, then that could be an interesting one to keep our eyes on.
I mean,
How many?
as long as... Go ahead.
Go on, Langers, you go.
As long as we got one on the grid, we got the name every weekend. So hopefully some podiums and some commentary interviews. Yeah, when I left last season, I decided to then podium when I wasn't there. So unlucky.
Yeah, indeed it was. It should be a cracking season, as we've said before. And I, 2 weeks till we head to Hungary and get it underway. 2 weeks on Saturday till we head to Imola for the first endurance race of the second season of endurance racing. Thank you to Momentum Motorsport for helping us set that one up. It was them guys who wanted the endurance championship on the grid, and I can tell you that the first race is 4 hours of Imola. Before we head to 6 hours of Nordschleife, 6 hours of Bathurst, 4 hours of Spa, 5 hours of Watkins Glen, and then Momentum Motorsport wanted to end the Endurance Championship at the home of SimPlay Motorsport with 6 hours of Donington Park. That is beautiful.
We've got Malarex looks to be closing on Rob Smith out there, although he's just lost a bit of time, but that could be a big fight in the bronze championship this season. Malarex was right up there at times, wasn't he? And Rob Smith, depending on how he gets on with his car.
Yeah, if we get the
could
Rob
be right
Smith
up there
of 2
again.
seasons
could
ago,
be two that we could be seeing going side by side quite
well.
well.
Rob Smith took the fight to Benny Archie, didn't he, 2 seasons ago? Back when we was testing all the classes and everything. Malarex obviously fell off a little bit from Betson last year. I don't think Rob Smith in that Honda was the best car choice. Started to get to grips with it as the season went on, but yeah, the bronze championship in Pro-Am, Privet and Broome, what can they do? Cherry Moore's one that I've got my eye on, and Tucker. There's obviously a few new faces as well. Peckman in that category with Malarex, Page, a few new faces as well to see what they can do. It could be a competitive year, but if Rob Smith can get that Nissan working, he could have a good car choice underneath him to keep him going in the correct way.
It'd be nice to see the Nissan get a few more race wins. I don't know how many race wins it's got out there.
I'll tell you. Let me load up my spreadsheet. I've got all the stats. I don't think it's got many. I think its first race win come back on Project Cars 2 with Fury back in the day. Fury, Tony's grandson. It has got 2 race wins to its name. And I think both of them have been on Project Cars 2, not ACC. I don't think it has won a race. Sorry. One of them races was on ACC at this circuit by our very own Matt Wright.
You forgot about that.
I did forget about that.
Unbelievable. Wow. You told me so many times last season just for you to forget.
Only 2 races. I mean, you would have to be a pretty good driver then to get a win in it, wouldn't you? I guess if it's only got 2 race wins out there.
Yeah, when you're racing against plumbers. So.
Sort of thinking what car to go in still in Pro-Am, says DJ Phil in the chat. Go in a car that you feel comfortable in, Phil. That's all the only advice I can really give you.
It's a term, righty. Like they say, like Michael Jordan wasn't good because he played against plumbers. It means that you went against a weak strength of field.
What was he playing Mario?
It's not a funny. It's not a funny joke now because I have to go explain it.
I've just made it funny.
It was, I don't think it was funny in the first place.
Means you were racing against weak drivers. Jesus.
Weak drivers.
That was the,
He was the reverse.
season at MSA. That's the first season that MSA joined.
If I remember rightly, that race Matt Wright won at Spa.
Now you're throwing out teams that make me look bad. Yeah, now I see that. Yeah.
That race that Matt Wright won at Spa, if I remember rightly, he fended off Jamal for 2 laps at the end. Jamal nearly got him 2 laps from the end, and Matt Wright managed to hold him off. I'll let you tell him that one.
Yes,
I'll let you tell him that one.
If anyone wants to go back and watch it, it's a fantastic final lap overtaking Leger.
It's all all our races, all our
tense.
races that have been streamed are all in playlists. You can go and find out what season you want, from Formula 1 to Project Cars 2, GT3s, GT5s on the Project Cars 2 series, where I was sadly robbed. Clio Cup.
While we've been chatting, we've got some battles.
Yeah,
on the track. Wainwright closed on the back of Malarex, and
Steve's past Peckman.
Cummins right on the back of.
Yeah, I'm on the Cummins Miga now, and Steve's past Peckman. I've noticed he's got 27 seconds back to Malarex and Wainwright. Wainwright on the back of Malarex. Just going to check that one out a second. Yeah, that gap looks a bit bigger than half.
Peckman only a second. So
I think Steve's just overtaken
yeah.
Peckman. He was behind Peckman, so Steve's got a bit of time to catch up now. And I'm testing at the moment every single night, still, says DJ Phil. Great to see. Phil, as here comes the Super Trofeo of Cummins, looking to the outside line of Blanchimon then. Round the outside, no, tucks back in behind and thinks better. He's just going to wait until the bus stop chicane, using that overspeed, bringing Gabino with him as well. So turning into a little 3-way fight here between the silver driver, the silver runner-up in Who Darren Cup last season of Miga, and then Cummins and Gabino trying to tackle the Porsche Cup car as well. Gabino strong driver, wasn't he? Strong driver. Yeah, very strong driver, and really sort of come into his own towards the end of the season in the M2s last year. I don't think he started particularly well, but ended strong.
Yeah, I feel like he got a P3 in class or something.
I think so. No, I thought it was P2 in.
I'm sure it was a P2 maybe.
Sorry, P2 in class.
Yeah.
Either way,
Cummins got right up close to him there and then had to cut the corner.
Yeah, he did a little bit. Benny Varga now pits with 23 minutes to go. How is this going to work for Benny Varga? He's got a bit of time. He's got 16 seconds to Falsanelli and then another 13, so about 29-30 seconds back to De Munster. Well, it's going to take him a lot longer than that in the pit stops, because the pit lane itself is about 60 seconds long just to drive through it. So he could come out ahead of Cairns here, and he was fighting Harris, wasn't he, just before he pitted, so he could be around Cairns. He's obviously P3 in class. He'll come out the pits, and Van den Dole, is still out there on the circuit lapping and takes the lead overall in this race. So we've had a Porsche Cup lead this race. No, we haven't, had a Porsche Cup lead this race. We've had a Ferrari Challenge and a Super Trofeo lead this race, as Miga still fending off Gabino through the middle sector towards Piff Path. They come once again. Cummins goes to the outside line. Miga, just a little wiggle on the car under acceleration at the first part of the Piff Path chicane. Cummins gets through. Gabino had a look but couldn't do it there, so Cummins moves up into P number 8, and Gabino will look for P9 out of Stavolo now. And Miga, you just feel, will possibly lose this place to Gabino. Still no track limits for these drivers. We've only had the one stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane by Steve Millington. Here comes Gabino. Is he going to have a look up the inside into Blanchimon? He fancies it, he goes for it, and around the outside, still side by side together. Great bit of racing, and has the Porsche Cup driver just done enough to fend off Gabino? Or will he dive into the pits like when Gabino went round the outside of Steve Millington here? Oh, bit of a wiggle from Miga. Gabino gets it done. Lovely bit of multi.
He's nailed that move twice now.
Love me some multi-class.
Beautiful. These 2 multi-class races we've done these last 2 weeks.
We got Wainwright.
Fantastic.
Wainwright making the move on Malarex. Malarex ran wide. He's let him through.
Yeah, so Malarex losing out there to Wainwright, who's been in the wars in this race, and yeah, what a shame for him. Malarex running 3rd in the Ferrari Challenge class. We're only down to four Ferrari Challenge cars.
Benny Varga and Patrick Ligier just got into an incident. Was watching it.
Patrick Ligier has then had a spin. Where is it? Benny Varga came out behind Harris. I'm surprised at that one. And he's some way behind Harris and Keynes. I thought he may have done them. Van den Dole then into the pits. And Falcinelli will take back the lead of this race. A comfortable race for Falcinelli, who took the pole by 7/10 of a second. Langley, who was your tip to win this one outright. And he has so far been absolutely dominant. Are we going to see more of this in the GT4 Who Darren Cup, I wonder?
Hopefully. Always good to get new drivers and quick drivers at that. It's the reason why our grids are becoming so much more competitive, you know? So some may say the best season yet, you know, not the season where we're winning in Nissans, but yeah.
He's not going to have an easy ride out there, though. He's, you know, you got Skunky, McGowan, De Munster. You know, lots of fast drivers
Post
in the GT4s.
Post, the defending gold champion.
Wilbrink promoted, wasn't he?
Yeah. So that could be an interesting one. I'm just looking. Jordi van der Ven, who is a new driver to the Who Darren Cup this year, has gone in the KTM Crossbow GT4 car. I respect that decision from that guy.
Wow.
Falcinelli, Porsche Cayman, Skunk. Don't forget the deadline for car choices closes on the 30th of January, 8 p.m. UK time. So that is a week on Friday. So these cars aren't necessarily official yet. But Falcinelli's gone in the Porsche Cayman, Van der Ven in the KTM. In fact, let me go to the bottom of the page. Cummins, Alpine, McMillan, Mercedes. Dan Taylor's got a great team back. He's gone in the McLaren. Ginetta for Gillies, Ginetta for Steve Millington, Mercedes for Crack, Skunky Alpine, De Munster Mercedes, McGowan McLaren, Wilbrink's got in the Aston Martin, McLaren for Post, Betson McLaren, Aston Martin for Pete Marston. Great to have Pete Marston. Sorry, no, it's not Pete Marston. He was with us. He's the bronze champion, isn't he? Jamie Lee Mercedes, Ginetta for Benny Varga, Mike has gone in the Mercedes, Ramsel's gone Ginetta. Rizalski, Porsche Cayman as a reserve. Mezin's reserve in the Mercedes. Keynes in the Ginetta as a reserve. Krupjan in the Chevrolet. Dawson in the Chevrolet. Chevrolet for Cherry Moore. A lot of Chevrolets in the bronze category at the moment. Ginetta for Stapley. Broom Aston Martin. Privet BMW. Tipping, great to see Tipping back in the Ginetta. Mercedes for Gareth Anderson and Camaro for Rob Smith. So a good mixture of cars, and that bronze category heavily as Van den Dole, leader of Ferrari Challenge, stop go 30 for speeding in the pit lane. Now then, Rob Smith, who's a lap down, so it won't matter. It won't matter. Ignore me. Yeah, really anticlimactic. No Ferrari Challenge car then will finish in the top 10 of this race. But sorry.
See, sort the classes out.
Yeah, exactly.
Just gotta let. Yeah, that's all we need.
That's all we need. But back to that Who Darren Cup, you're seeing a gold field that is kind of a mixture of cars: Mercedes, Porsches, KTM's, McLarens, Alpines, Aston Martins. The silver class looks pretty much. You know, there's a few more. Again, kind of mixed, I suppose. Ginetta, Mercedes, Aston Martin, McLaren again. But that bronze category, Chevrolet dominated there. 1, 2, 3, 4 Chevrolets. Whereas then there's one Aston, 2 Ginettas, a BMW and a Mercedes. That's barring the reserve driver of Crack, who has gone in the Mercedes as well. So a real mixture of cars in the gold and silver category. Bronze, Chevy dominant. That could be an interesting one to keep our eyes on.
Only 4 returning drivers as well in the bronze category. 6 new drivers.
Yeah. So again, a lot will be. A lot of eyes.
Interested to see what they can do.
This is the worst track to get a stop go as well.
Yeah. This then I think Indianapolis will be the next one. A long pit lane at Indianapolis, which is also on the calendar, and a reminder of the calendar for this season. 2 weeks' time. We head to the Hungaroring, as we've said before. We then head over to Brands Hatch for our first night race and our only night race of the season. That'll be Chaos on the 10th, 11th and 12th of February. Kyle Army for our one race only 90-minute GT3 race. Obviously, it will be the same format for Darren Cup throughout the season, but in the Pro and Pro-Am categories, they will have 2 90-minute races, one at Kyle Army. Watkins Glen is then round 4 at the 24th, 25th and 26th February. Laguna Seca stock kicks off March for the halfway stage of the season. Snetterton on the 10th, 11th and 12th of March. Indianapolis. Now, not only is Indianapolis a 90-minute race, it's also an evening race. So that'll be beautiful to see the sunset over Indianapolis, provided it's good weather, going into the dark at Indy. Imola on the 24th, 25th and 26th of March. Valencia.
It'll be very cold then. It'll still be very cold.
Yeah, so we could have rain. Excuse me. Imola ends March. Valencia kicks sort of 31st of March, 1st and 2nd of April for our penultimate round of the season. Then the early morning race will be at the home of SimPlay Motorsport, Donington Park, 7th, 8th and 9th of April to get that one ended for season 10. And obviously we went through the calendar for the endurance category a moment ago. Stop go cleared for Van den Doel, who is only 4 seconds up the road. In fact, no, Rob Smith has, I believe, passed Van den Doel. Or is he 72 seconds behind him? We'll wait as he goes through Sector 1. He has. So Rob Smith is now the new Ferrari Challenge race leader. So Rob Smith at the moment has got Malarex 1.8 off the back of him for now the lead in this race. And Van den Doel is only 5 seconds behind the pair of them. So
oh boy,
it is hotting up in the Ferrari Challenge category between the leaders with 15 minutes to go. We could see a real strong fight here, but Rob Smith at the minute, your Ferrari Challenge leader. DJ Phil says, and you can see my 2 wins in Monza on Project Cars 2, indeed you can. And Tip saying, I couldn't believe my beloved Ginetta. It's great to see you back, Tips, to be honest with you. It's nice to see you back on the grid. Looking forward to that Darren Cup series that'll be getting started in just under 2 weeks now, actually. It's 2 weeks today till Pro-Am.
I can't wait for this season. Can't wait for commentary. Can't wait for the battles, the storylines, the just everything that comes with the racing season. Very much looking forward to it. Still don't know if I'm doing wheel or not. Probably not, but we'll see.
It's going to be an interesting season for sure. Matt, you looking forward to it?
Yeah, definitely looking forward to getting just getting that adrenaline back once you get out on the track, get a bit of bumper to bumper racing. It just brings it all back. It's been a long time since we've really it feels like a long time.
6 week break.
Since you've really been out there. Yeah. But then when it comes back round again, you feel like it hasn't.
Looking on Malarex, and he's up into now 2nd place in the Ferrari Challenge class.
He is indeed. So Van den Doel, the man to keep our eyes on at the moment in this race. Can he hunt down Rob Smith with 12 minutes to go? I'm gonna say yes. Van den Doel's had great pace to be running in the top 5 overall tonight, so I think Rob Smith has got his work cut out to keep Van den Doel behind him. But yeah, looking forward to it. What do we think to the endurance season? We're looking forward to that one getting underway.
Yeah. It's hopefully I'll be able to take part in some of it, but it's nice to bring something new, isn't it? And everyone loves a bit of endurance. Brings another side to racing again, a bit of strategy. And, it should be interesting.
It should be a good one. Yoshi Harris will be bringing you all the action in the commentary box for the endurance season. So that'll be interesting to see.
That's a big commitment. That's a big commitment. Yeah. Kudos to him.
Yeah. I spoke to him. He was happy to do the whole season. So can't wait to see Yoshi back in the comms box for that one. That should be an interesting one to see that play out. Obviously, the longest race being a 6 hour, which will start around that sort of midday mark in terms of the hour-long practice. Then the 10 or 15-minute qualifying. I can't remember what it is. And then the 4 hours, 1 5-hour race, and then a couple of 6-hour races as well. Right. Final 11.5 minutes of this race, in which it's kind of just mellowed out. We're not seeing them battles develop towards the end here, like we saw at the Nürburgring a week ago. I
don't know what you mean. Benny Varga's catching up to Harris again. So.
Oh, he is. Yeah, that's just over a second, and we've obviously got the lead in Ferrari Challenge, possibly about to change. Harris coming under pressure from Benny Varga. These two had a great scrap earlier on in the night as well, didn't they, Lance?
Yeah, for sure. And I think you are right. The lead in Ferrari Challenge will probably go back to the way of Van den Doel within a second now, heading down to the bus stop.
So here they come through Blanchimont. Rob Smith just ahead of Van den Doel. I must say, I do quite like that pink on Rob Smith's car. It looks quite nice, to be fair. And just covers the middle of the road, does Rob Smith. Goes straight on, and Van den Doel will not have an easier overtake to make than that. And Van den Doel quickly back into the lead of Ferrari Challenge. Right, back to the Harris and Benny Varga fight now, then, that rages on in the dying moments of this race. The Porsche strong in different areas to the Lamborghini. But you have to say, Falcinelli, what a dominant display from the young man, who has taken a great race win. And not yet, he hasn't, but he's taken a great race for so far 80 minutes. And again, just that mental fatigue there for Rob Smith. Is that what kicked in, and he's just outbraked himself a little bit, Langley, because he's got to get that right come these 90-minute races at Kyle Army in Indianapolis.
Possibly. It could be multiple factors, and I think Van den Doel just had much better pace as well, and Rob Smith felt the pressure, outbraked himself just a little bit, but yeah, Benny within half a second here, going through a Rouge and Radillon now.
Yeah, he is indeed. So is this the Benny Varga's chance, Matt, to try and get past Harris down the Kemmel straight towards the Lecombe chicane? Here comes Benny Varga. This is looking back from Michael Harris's car. As I keep pressing the wrong button, there we go. That's looking back from Michael Harris. Benny Varga not close enough into Lecombe to make the move this time around. But is this a matter of if not when?
It's starting to feel like that. It'd be hard to fend off that Super Trofeo, considering the lack of straight line speed in the Porsche Cup car. I do think Benny took tires. I feel like that's the only explanation of how he's caught so quick and why he did come out behind Harris. He ended up still taking tires, is what I can guess.
Yeah, so let's see what Benny Varga can do to get past Michael Harris here. Maiga hasn't re-pitted yet, has he? So he's still going in this race. He's done really well because he pitted very early on, did Maiga, in this one. And we was expecting to possibly come back
Benny's
into the pits
move, if you haven't
at
seen
the
it.
end of the race. I hadn't seen it, no. So Benny Varga, I was just looking at my other screen a second. So Benny Varga has got
into pit path.
Michael Harris.
Into pit path. Yeah, if he's got more grip than that Porsche Cup car, he's definitely taking tires in the middle sector. If he's got more grip than that Porsche Cup,
I'd say so. Right, where are we? Not really anybody chasing anybody down. Here's Neil Broom. We've not seen Neil Broom much in this race, so let's give Neil Broom a bit of screen time. What can he do in the bronze this season? I think he goes for surgery tomorrow, or this week at least anyway, so this will be Neil Broom's last appearance for a little bit. I'm sure he'll be hoping to be out there for week number 1, but obviously the drop scores are different this year, Matt. Let's talk a bit about the drop scores this season, because they've now changed. Not only is it week 1 to 8, but it's week 1 to 8 minus the 2 90-minute races, so it gives drivers 4 weeks of no drop scores this season. That's going to play a huge part into how they're, into making sure they have better races more consistently throughout this season.
Actually, that's the first I'm hearing of it. Mike, don't get on me. I didn't read the rule book, blah, blah, blah. I just go out there and race. But yeah, that's... I think it also means that you have to focus and perform in those 90-minute races. They're going to be so crucial, and a lot can change very quickly in those. But leaves a little wiggle room in the regular races for the drop scores and people missing weeks as well. I've always liked that with people. If they do miss a race, it'll be a drop score. So,
Righty, your thoughts on that
one? What are we talking about? Sorry, the 1.5 points.
No,
I switched off for a bit there.
The drop scores.
Thoughts on drop scores in general?
Well, no, thoughts on the drop scores. Obviously, there's less chance of a drop score this season because we're not taking them in the 90-minute races. It's obviously only normally weeks 1 to 8.
We are.
So...
we are taking them in the 90-minute races.
Oh, there we go.
That's why we increased the 90-minute races to 1.5 points, because otherwise the 90-minute race would basically always be your drop score.
Langley, you say about you've not read the rules, so you apologise to Mike. I made the rules with Matt Wright and Mike, and even I've got it wrong.
So the point is that we're increasing it to 1.5 points, in the idea that it covers half points for your sprint race. As in, if it's a reverse grid, you're likely to score less points. So that should sort of cover it with the half points, because otherwise, if you've only got one race to go out and win points, it would basically mean that every 90-minute race would be a drop score.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Matt Wright, for explaining.
So that's why we increased it to 1.5 points.
Thank you.
Well, then I'll take back what I said.
Yeah.
That's the idea behind it anyway. It's all testing. We try and think about these things, don't we? And we try and cover everything to make it fair. Sometimes we miss something, but that's why we rely on the community suggestions to, help all of us build the league and make it better for everyone.
I think a community suggestion should be, Langers, Who Darren Cup, Multiclass. What do you think?
I like the idea.
Yeah, I like the idea,
especially if the one making the classes actually gets it right. So I think it'll be just fine.
DJ Phil's asking me if I like the new Bruno Mars song. Never heard it. There you go. Never heard it, Phil, to answer your question. It's a random thing to put in the chat. 5 minutes left of this race here at SPA-Francorchamps in the Ardennes Forest of Belgium.
Do you like the Golden song, Matt?
Huge fan of the Golden song. Huge fan of the Golden song. I think that's an absolute tune. I need to know the name of the song that we've got on FIFA, because that's a brilliant song. I am a fan of that. You know when we score a goal?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm
huge fan of that song. I think I need to get that one downloaded.
Oh my god.
I'm a huge fan of another song, actually. I forwarded you two both a new song the other week. I'm a huge fan of that one. That one's a real favourite of mine.
Oh.
Called Bad Days.
Yeah, I like that.
Good tune.
Yeah.
Very good song. Gotta keep my straight face on.
Any NFL fans in the chat? The Miami Dolphins are rebranding to the Green Bay Dolphins for next season, seeing as they're approaching off the Green Bay staff and players. That should be an interesting rebrand for them. Not a lot happening in this race. It's just kind of gone a bit stale, hasn't it?
We've got Millington closing on the back of Malarex.
Well, he's done well there, because that was over 20. That was over 20 odd seconds. Yeah. So he's done really well there as Steve.
He won't get the move done unless Malarex is very slow through Eau Rouge and Redillon, but
he'll have an extra lap. Lap.
Yeah, it'll probably get it done in one of the other sectors, but yeah.
Yeah, where's the leader? Just coming into Piff Paff now, so the race leader will.
It's very spread out, isn't it? Very spread out.
Yeah, I mean we're down to 19
it's not like the
drivers.
multi-class last week where you had people lapping people like consistently. Faster classes lapping.
See, that's what worries. Like I said, that's what worries me about this, is that a lot of the cars are very close together. So if you have a Ferrari Challenge or something splitting two cars that could be racing each other, if one car has managed to get in front, they can be long gone down the road. So it's not even so much traffic that's getting involved. It's another car that has its own characteristics that can make you faster in some sections and make it very difficult to overtake, which is why we could be seeing such a split grid at the moment.
Yeah,
because cars are getting held up behind others, and it's giving people the chance to go away.
If you get the classes right, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it'll be something I think we can test a bit more and have a look at a bit more. But the man from Sri Lanka gets the move done on Malarex and moves up to 16th place. Steve Millington does. He's not actually from Sri Lanka, it's just because the Sri Lankan flag is plastered all over his car. We'll go on to that camera so you can see it there on the bonnet, on the door, and it's on the door on the other side. And he might actually get Rob Smith within the same lap here, because Rob Smith's a little slow in front of him. And he won't catch him down this section towards Blanchimont. But Steve Millington, towards his back end of the race, he's managed to... He's been on it all day in this Lamborghini.
Vandendoel is already 20 seconds ahead of Rob
He's just
Smith.
gone. Yeah, and he's only 10 seconds off the back of Wainwright, who he's been fighting with a lot in the early stages of this race. Can Millington get the move done at the end on Rob Smith, just to gain an extra place overall? And the leader is on the final lap. He's just coming towards No Name now. So the leader coming through No Name. So he's got about half a lap to go. And Steve has got the full lap to get past Rob Smith. But where can he do it? I assume in that middle sector where the Ferrari Challenge will be a little bit worse than the Super Trofeo. Benny Varga has pulled clear of Harris by 5.5 seconds. Here we go then, up El Rouge for the final time for Steve Millington. He's going to try now. They're both well off the circuit. And, yeah, that was an interesting line at the top of Radion. Both well off the circuit. And Rob Smith's Ferrari Challenge just pulls a little bit further ahead of the Super Trofeo of Steve Millington. And Steve's going to have to wait for this middle sector, I feel. Leader coming round Stavolo now. So let's go on Falsellini, who has drove an absolutely incredible race. We've not seen much of him tonight. He's not put a foot wrong, Langley. Out-qualified De Munster by 0.7 of a second. Got his head down. 14-second gap. Great day for him.
And showing us all what he's made of. And platinum, I think, is the pace on that one. But yeah, great win from him.
Falsellini rounds the bus stop chicane, comes towards the checkered flag, and he will win here at Spa in the multi-class event, the final off-season event of the season. De Munster will come to the line for P number 2 in a good result for him. The 933 behind him is Richie Michel, who will cross the line. So De Munster P2, Richie Michel is going to come across the line for P number 12. Then we've got the 62 of Wainwright, who will finish a couple of laps down. He's going to come ahead of Vandendoel. 10.1 seconds Vandendoel got that down to, and he comes and finishes P13. Here is Vandendoel now, who is about to cross the line, car number 20, with the 888 of Neil Broom just ahead of him. There's Neil Broom. Vandendoel will cross the line for the win in Ferrari Challenge, and we now wait for the win in Porsche Cup from that of Cairns, who is going to be a man to keep our eyes on in the Platinum category this season. But Cairns rounds the final couple of corners. He will cross the line for P3 overall, the win in Porsche Cup. Benny Varga will be next towards the line. No, he won't. It will be the 15th. It will be Steve Millington, who has got ahead of Rob Smith. He will get 15th from Rob Smith, second in Ferrari Challenge. Malarex will be third in Ferrari Challenge. Benny Varga will round off the Super Trofeo podium. Good result for Benny Varga, P4 going into the season. Michael Harris, keep hold of it. He's nearly lost it coming out the chicane, manages to gather it back up. Second place in Porsche Cup for him. And now we have to wait for Patrick Leger. Peckman will cross the line before Patrick Leger. Here is Peckman. But Leger, third place in the Porsche Cup race today. So a double podium for Leger in the off-season events. Alistair Cummins will be a solid fourth place. Gabino is gaining on Cummins at the end of this race. Not enough for Gabino at the end, though. Cummins 7th. Gabino will be 8th. Maiga we await for next. And then Mirko Ricci and Richard Bettison at the end. Bettison, could he close a 2.1 second gap at this section of the circuit? I doubt it, unless Mirko outbreaks himself at the bus stop chicane. But Maiga into the bus stop chicane. DJ Phil says, have a look in the general chat of Discord. I've put the song in there for you. Oh, thanks, Phil. Maiga comes across the line for P number 9. Good result for Maiga as we head into that season. He'll be in the GT3, so let's be interesting to see what he can do. Mirko Ricci, P10, and Richard Bettison. Oh, just stacked it into the wall as he's about to cross the line for P11. There we go. And that then is your fun events done for this season. Thank you all for tuning in. But quickly before we go, Wrighty, thank you for joining us tonight. Final thoughts going into this new season.
It's going to be a cracker. Yeah, that's it really. I think it's just looking stronger and stronger each season. The racing's getting better and better. It's getting closer and closer, and I think it'll be another super season in every class, every league.
Indeed. Langley, same question to you.
Looking forward to the commentary. Looking forward to the action. Like I said earlier, the storylines and just the battles that we're gonna get and the dramas that we're gonna have. Hopefully, a few more wet races this season. Haven't had too many recently, so yeah, looking forward to it and looking forward to the tracks once again. 90-minute races. Looking forward to that as a new thing, and just a lot to look forward to on this new season.
Indeed. Well, you could join us live for the new season in 2 weeks' time for the Who Darren Cup at Hungaroring. We'll see who's in the box for the Who Darren Cup season. But from all of us here at SimPlay Motorsport, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, the like button. If you enjoy what you see here, hit the bell to be notified, because Season 10 is right around the corner